He's the one.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome along to the wilds of Suffolk. I'm out here yet again doing what I do, walking along in beautiful locations such as this, giving you my thoughts and opinions on things that are happening in the world and the public consciousness. If it's your first time here, welcome. I hope you enjoy what I'm doing today. If you're a returning subscriber, or 1,395 of you I believe there are, welcome back. Welcome one and all. It is an honor and a privilege to have you join me for these walk and talks where I basically wander around and speak my mind for however long we're going to be here for. Now I realize your time is precious, so let's get it on today and see where we're going with this conversation. And I'm entitling this video Intention, Contention. Okay, now if you've been here for a while, I've been making these videos for 5 years on and off, you know, when I get a chance. I have been working a lot lately, and work has taken just about all of my time, and when I'm not working, I'm sort of trying to rest and recuperate, playing some golf and looking after me, trying to make sure that I can maintain my youthful beauty and exuberance, and occasionally bring it out here to, you know, speak with everybody, to raise everyone's spirits, or perhaps have you questioning the world that you're presented with, which is what we're doing today. Now, if you've seen any of my videos, you know how I sign off. Go out into the world, do good, be good, right? You can change the world with the way that you think, the way that you talk, blah, blah, blah. If you've been here, you've seen it, you've heard me say it. But realistically, what does it mean? What does it mean? We hear a lot about manifestation lately, and people are talking about manifesting and all these adverts like, if you can't manifest what you want, you're doing it wrong, you have to detach. I'm sure you've heard this. If you've been part of any kind of truther community or whatever we're calling this movement of people questioning the reality that we're in, for any period of time, you would have heard the word manifestation or manifesting, or, you know, creating something in your reality using your mind and your words, and, you know, you are creating in this reality using all the tools that you have available to you. Okay, now I'm going to say a couple of things today. It's going to sound pretty wacky, I get it. You know, it's going to come across as crazy, and I get that too, because let's face it, to the average person, I am completely insane. Totally. You know, I don't go along with what I'm told just because I'm told it by someone in a position of authority. I question everything. I don't go with the status quo. I just constantly want to understand things better, so I question everything. And usually that gets to a point of making people uncomfortable, because it shakes their view of reality, and that's an uncomfortable position to be in when you are basing your decisions on what you think that you know, and what you think that you know is probably wrong. Because you've been told things that aren't true. Okay, now, like I say, when I say these things today, I am, as I always do, I speak my mind, and you get to choose whether you believe it or not. I don't mind. It really doesn't bother me in the slightest. You know, people question me all the time, and that's part of why I do what I do. So, intention, contention. I mean, really, what does that mean? Well, intention. Now, here's the one that's going to have you questioning the validity of anything I say. But for those of you who've met me, for those of you who've interacted with me, who know me, who've met me in physical person, who've shaken my hand, or hung out with me for any period of time, will know what I'm about to say to be true. even though it sounds crazy, I know how crazy it sounds, don't worry. But those around me, they know, because they've seen it more than once, lots of times. Okay, so, you ready? I can influence the weather. Now I'm going to have some of you out there who've seen me walk around in the rain and gone, well, if you can influence the weather, why are we walking around in the rain? Right? Of course, it's a natural question, because if I can influence the weather, why isn't it always sunny around me, right? Well, you know what? I garden as well. So I need rain sometimes for my garden. I need sunshine for my garden too, you know. And people ask me all the time, why would you move from Australia to England? I mean, the weather here is shit and blah, blah, you know, all the reasons why I shouldn't be here. But I say to them all the time, because here you actually get the seasons. You have the summer, you know when it's summer because it's hot, the grass all dries out. You know, it's clearly summer. You have barbecues, you have get-togethers outside. It's summertime, which is much like where I come from in Australia, Western Australia. It's like that all the time. It's just hot. It's bloody hot. But as a chef, when it's hot outside, it's even hotter in the kitchen. So, one reason. But here you have the seasons. You have the summer, you have the autumn when the leaves start to change colour and fall down. I mean, it is beautiful. And, you know, walking through the forest, you've seen the entire seasonal change in my videos as I'm walking around, or when I'm walking on the beach in the snow. You know, walking on the beach in the snow, like, it's just weird. But I love that you actually see the change of seasons here, whereas where I come from, it's hot, or it maybe rains a little bit, you know, in the winter. that's the whole seasonal change in Australia. Well, where I come from anyway, West Australia. Now, so I influencing the weather. Okay, let's get back to that, because it's crazy. I know how it sounds. It's ridiculous, but until you've seen me do it, you can't say anything. Well, you can say whatever you want, but I mean, it's not going to influence me. Now, the way that I influence the weather is with intention, okay? Now, I've been invited to lots of parties and birthday parties and weddings and all sorts of things, because they always ask me before I go, can you take care of the weather? And it's sort of one of those running jokes with me and my friends, but they realise it's not a joke, because it always happens that, you know, I'll be travelling somewhere. A friend of mine's daughter's birthday in London. You know, from where we are, it's about a 3-hour drive. And the entire way down to London, it pissed down with rain. I mean, not just a little bit, it poured down all day. The whole journey, 3 hours worth of driving. And my children were like, I thought you said the weather was going to be good. I said, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We pulled into the car park. All the clouds went away. Sun came out. It was sunny for the rest of the afternoon. Oh, but that's not you, Chris. It's just lucky happenstance. And lucky happenstance happens all the time. In fact, sometimes I even time it. And I say, when I'm going to play golf with my friends, and I say, by 4 o'clock, the weather will be perfect. Sunshine, fluffy white clouds, blue sky to be perfect. Don't worry. And they're like, yeah, man, we'll look outside. It's pissing down with rain. Sure enough, 4 o'clock in the afternoon comes. Bright sunshine, fluffy white clouds, blue sky. Now, I know it sounds ridiculous. I know. But when you're talking about manifesting, what's the difference between manifesting things into your life and manifesting the weather that you want? What's the difference? It's intention. You are stating an intention. Now, when I influence the weather, I'm not influencing the weather. I am putting out the intention of what I want, and I'm putting it out in a way that is aligned with how I feel about it, which is, if I have the weather that I want for my event, my golf game, or whatever it is, you know, I will feel that joy. It will align with my joyful side, because that alignment will make me joyful. And I put that intention out there, and that emotion, that emotional exchange, and that intention influences the reality that we're in. Okay? Now, that's the really crazy part out of the way, because, I mean, it sounds crazy, influencing the weather. Speak to people who know me, who have known me for, you know, decades, and ask them, just ask them the question, have you ever seen Chris do this? People in the chat, have you ever seen me do it? You know, people won't believe it until they see it. the whole seeing is believing thing is actually the other way around. It's actually believing is seeing, because you create it if you believe it. But believing is not enough. And this is where we get to the next part. Faith. So it's one thing to believe you can do something. I believe I can run a 10-kilometre race. I could run a 10-kilometre race tomorrow. I mean, I don't believe it. I know it. I probably wouldn't be feeling too great afterwards. Even though I used to race triathlons, I used to race 10K races, bike races, you name it. I've done them all. I was a swimmer, champion swimmer for a long time. And, I've been sporty all my life. But, with the workload I have and family and all the other pressures and, let's face it, I'm not getting any younger, even though I still, I'm doing pretty good for 53, right? I had my birthday not long ago, by the way. Just to 53, still not too much grey, not too much salt with the pepper, but it's give me that distinguished Dr. Strange look. So, the intention and the emotional correlation between the intention and the emotion is what gives you the end result. It's not a belief, it's a knowing. It's a knowing. So I set intentions in my life of things that I want to achieve, right? And it wasn't like I will be a millionaire one day, or I will be this, or I will do that. I will be a millionaire, or I will get on television, or I will achieve this. And the thing that brings it to me, the thing that I use to make sure that I can manifest, and it's not straight away, it's not instant. It's, if I'm manifesting something that seems completely outside of the bounds of me being able to do it, of course it takes longer for me to do it, because firstly, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I have no idea, because I've never done it before. Those things that seem outside of our reality, that we could never ever do that. I could never go there. I could never do that. I could, all these things are programmed into your head through subconscious programming. Whether it's your parents, whether it's the people around you, whether it's the internet, whether it's the television, whatever it is. You've always got these messages, you can't or you won't, And for me, that's what drives me. When people say, you will never, you can't, you're too stupid, you're whatever excuse, you didn't finish high school, Chris, you're too stupid. It's so good, because it is all that contention. Yeah. Big words. I made sure I looked it up in the thesaurus to make sure I knew what I was talking about. Oh, thesaurus, another big word. Big words for someone who didn't finish high school, right? So, because high school and school is the only place you can learn things. Just so we're on the same page. Now, for me, when people doubt me, when people say to me, you can't, you won't, it drives me to prove a point. And it's not proving a point that I'm better. It's not proving a point that I'm smarter. It's not proving a point that I can do this and you can't. It's proving a point that all the things that people think that are programmed into their thinking, I'm showing them that their thinking is what's mistaken. I'm no special person. I'm an average person, born to an average family, not much money. My parents didn't have much money. They didn't have any financial skill set. They had no, they worked hard. They did the best that they could with the knowledge that they had and the tools that they had, but they were unable to see beyond what they were told or what they understood about themselves to be true. Me, I don't give a fuck. No, I don't care. Honestly, I don't give a fuck what people think. I'm going to do what I'm going to do regardless of what people think. Sometimes intentionally, because it is all about proving a point. Not well educated, didn't come from money, all those things that people say, but you have to have this, or if you don't have a good education, or whatever excuses they use for not being able to achieve. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's easy. I'm not going to walk along and tell you it's easy either. Because it's not. You know, in order for you to move from a place where you are, where you're not in a place that you want to be, you know, whether it's financially or whether it's sitting in the rain or whatever it is, to move from that place to go to somewhere else where you've never been. How do you do that? It's like trying to find something the size of a pea in a dark room the size of an aeroplane hangar, because you have no idea where it is. You have no idea how to get there. Most of the time, most people don't even know what they're looking for. So how can you find something you don't know what you're looking for in a place where you've never been, with no map and no instructions? How can you do that? The only way you can do that is to align yourself with the belief system or the knowing that of that thing that you want to achieve, or that you want to have, or you want to hold, or you want to create, or want to manifest, or you're intending on bringing into this reality. Now, when I speak about manifesting things or intending things to happen, you know, when, 9 years ago now, I set a world record, for those of you who don't know, set a world record, and there was one of the things on my life achievement list of things I wanted to do. I mean, the things I want to do and achieve in my life are ridiculous. Like completely, utterly ridiculous, because I really want to push the boundaries and say, okay, how far can I push this? How far can the average person go to, how far can I push myself beyond anything that anyone can comprehend I can do, or even myself? How far can I do it? And I want to do that to prove a point. It's as much as proving a point to me, and anyone's ability to manifest or create or put themselves in a situation where they want to be, provided they're willing to put in the hard work, educate themselves, and open themselves to the possibility that an opportunity will come and be placed in their hand, should they be in the right headspace and in the right mindset to be able to take advantage of that thing. Now, before I did this world record burger, the most expensive burger in the world, go and check it out. The most expensive burger in the world, I promised all my life, to my family, to my friends, I will be on the television. You know, when I was a kid, I said it to my parents, and they said to me, people like us don't get on television. Until I did. But I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know what the vehicle was going to be. I had no idea of the route that it would take. And I tried everything. I was working with a TV producer from the BBC, Nick. If you're out there watching, howdy doody. He was helping me to be able to present on television, how to talk, how to present food, and the other things we were doing were mostly based around food, because that's what I know, 38 years of doing the same job. So I was working with him, and that didn't lead me anywhere, although I flew to Canada and filmed a pilot for a TV show that I wrote. Who knew that could happen? But that came through another contact who I was working with at the time, who had other contacts, you know. So it was meeting the right people, putting myself in the right positions, having the idea and the work ethic to be able to push it through to the other side. Now, the contention part for most people is where it falls apart. Now, the contention is you're always going to have doubters. You're always going to have haters. You're always going to have those people that don't want to see you move forward because it makes them feel bad about themselves. You know, what did it say in the Bible? Never hide your light under a bushel. You know, just because you want to go out there and achieve something that's unachievable as far as everyone around you is concerned, it doesn't belittle anybody else. It's a personal journey that you have to take, and you have to understand that the doubts and the fears of other people are going to be pressed upon you for multiple reasons. People are not going to understand. People are going to doubt you. You know, the people that doubted me when I said I can influence the weather, it's wonderful. It's wonderful, because the look on their faces is, but what? But how? How can you do that? You know, how is that guy able to do that? How was that guy able to do that? You know, didn't even finish high school, right? How can he know anything? What does his opinion matter to anybody, really? I mean, you know, this is contention. You're always going to have it. And for me, it drives me. But for a lot of people, it puts them off creating their own reality. Because if they intend something, I mean, I'm very vocal about all this kind of stuff. And I'll talk about all this, I will be a millionaire, or I will be this, or I will do that. And, back when I was a kid, first head chef that I ever worked under, one of the first head chefs that I ever worked under, Alan Gray, when I say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, he said, don't be a gunner. Don't be a gunner. Don't say you're going to do something and going to do this and going to do that. Don't advertise it, just do it. Good advice, but it's not enough. For me, it's not enough. I want to put myself out there to the point where I look ridiculous. Completely, utterly ridiculous. I'm pretty sure I'm doing it pretty well. Here I am, talking shit on YouTube. Smack talking the government, smack talking the royal family. I mean, you name it. I like smack talk everybody. Like I'm take on the world, right? And to do that and put yourself out there in such a public way, and not just to your family and friends, but to everybody who's willing to tune in and watch it. When you say something, people remember. And sometimes I like to forget. But then when you actually achieve what you set out to do, and all those haters and doubters and the people who wanted to throw sand in your eyes, or throw mud in your parade, or rain on your parade, or rain not so much today, right? Even though it was raining half an hour ago. Rain on your parade, and say you can't, you won't, you're not smart enough, you didn't finish high school, all that kind of stuff. Most people will cave to that pressure, or never set out, because what happens if I don't do what I set out to do? What happens if I don't get there? What happens if you do? Most people won't ever. They're so stuck in that. Oh, but what if I look like an idiot? So I've looked like an idiot I've done lots of different jobs. I sold property for a while. Love property. I love doing property. It's one of my favorite things in the world. But I sold houses for a little while. It was hard. You don't get paid for months. It's really difficult to support a young family on that kind of blah, 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 that kind of thing. I sold, marketed a health product, a weight loss product. Not that you can tell now, right? But marketed a weight loss product until the Advertising Standards Authority shut me down. We're not allowed to tell your story, apparently. But I've tried 1,000 things. I've done lots of different jobs, tried different businesses. I had my own lawn mowing and lawn mowing round in Australia with, I used to do people's gardens and things like that, and build things and knock things out, I've tried lots of different businesses, lots of different things. Some of them have worked, some of them haven't, but get back on the horse and go for another ride. And the thing I came to understand, and I've learned from listening to other people who are successful or have completed something that they wanted to do, entrepreneurs, or people who have gone and started something or done something in particular, where they went, yeah, okay, well, I failed before. It was a learning lesson for me, and I took that lesson and I took it forward, and that was something I didn't do in future endeavors. So it was actually, it was actually a good thing to fail, because it was a learning experience. And ultimately, those people that don't let the failure or the contention stop them from doing something are the ones who go out and change the world. And there's a great video, I've shared it a few times, great video by on a channel called Cyflux, CYFPHLUX, I think it is, Cyflux. It's an XRP channel where they make short videos, really, really good. And in one of the videos, they have a guy called Sam I Am. He's on Twitter, really very, very smart man, who's gone deep dived on everything from COVID to cryptos. And he did the voiceover for this particular video. And at the end of the video, he has a quote, and it says, "For those people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do." Now, that's where I base my whole attitude to intention, you know, that I might not be equal to the likes of Elon Musk, who everyone hates. I might not be at their level of entrepreneurs and business owners and bank CEOs and presidents and prime ministers. I'm not at that level, because I haven't set my target on that yet. No one wants me to be prime minister, surely. But I have achieved in my own life a lot of the things that I wanted to achieve. I've traveled the world. I've done impossible things. I was paid to put gold and silver on a billionaire's food at their wedding. I've opened restaurants all over the world. I've done things that are seemingly impossible purely because my work ethic and my mindset of nothing will stop me. If I want to do something, nothing will stop me. Nothing. And even though the odds seem insurmountable and I have no idea of the direction or the path of how I'm going to get somewhere, a way becomes clear, because if you put yourself in the right place to make things happen, things happen. You meet the right person at exactly the right moment. There's another saying, there's when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I'm no teacher. I am a science experiment. I'm a demonstration model. So imagine you want to go and buy a new Ferrari, but you're not too sure, so you want to take the demo out for a ride. That's what I am. Like the sort of the cut price demo model of teachers. Like, all I'm doing is teaching that just because you believe some way is correct to do something, it doesn't make it correct. And I'm going to show people that sometimes your thinking is not the only way that you can think. You with me? Now, how do we want to really progress with this? The whole idea of me doing this video, I've been wanting to do it for a couple of weeks, but all the pressures and the workloads and the family life and you know how it is. Surely you know how it is. Trying to balance all that and getting it wrong most of the time. Causing fights, that's what I do. But the whole point of me wanting to do this is because I see the world in such a fragile state and people are panicking, people are worried. The things that I've been talking about, this, the inflation, the price of gold and silver and cryptos going up, all these kind of things that I've been talking about, wars, who's involved and why we have them, and why these ongoing contentions, just to keep it on brand, are still happening, is because we are being propagandized through this media machine. Have you seen the new Mission Impossible movie? Now, I can't believe that I'm going to promote a Mission Impossible Hollywood movie with Tom Cruise in it, of all people. Isn't he a Scientologist, Chris? And yes, I have been to the Scientologist place in LA, Red Dianetics. It's intriguing. I'm not going to be giving up any of my hard-earned wealth to the Scientologists, but it is intriguing. Anyway, getting off track. L. Ron Hubbard was a crazy person, by the way, just so we're on the same page. But just because he's crazy doesn't mean he was wrong. Some of the things he came out with, dead right. Some of it, straight up crazy. And that's cool. Most of the things I come out with are just straight up crazy, but I'm not going to compare myself to L. Ron Hubbard. So the new Mission Impossible movie, starring Tom Cruise, is intriguing, to say the least. It's a conspiracy theorist's dream, because it takes into the storyline some of the conspiracies that are floating around in our zeitgeist at the moment. One of them being with the AI, that the AI was discovered and it was an ancient AI and blah blah blah, and it's that was brought into the story through a Russian sub that sank with this AI on board, and then the AI went crazy and is controlling. It's a massive, the way that the AI was controlling the media, so that the media would influence people's psyche and their perception and their belief system of what they come to believe. So when we're talking about this intention of creation, of manifesting by all of us, because if you think about it, if I can do something by myself, like influence the weather myself. Imagine what we could do if all of us realized our own potential within ourselves of manifesting our reality, and our reality spills over into everybody else's reality. So a lot of us have a lot of crossovers in what we want to see in our world, but they can't see a way of manifesting it or intending it, because all they see is the media and this media circus and this PR machine, that it is all propaganda. That's what they see, and they believe the propaganda to be true. So, you know, like prime example, the Russia-Ukraine war. Oh, Russia's going to be broke in 2 weeks, and that's the end of it. Their economy's going to go down the toilet. You know, they made more money out of oil during the war than they ever did any other time. But let's not talk about that. But the world is changing. The world is changing, and we all have our part to play in creating a new reality for ourselves through our intention. Now, as you might have noticed, I am very much pulled back from doing these talks. There's a reason for that. I am focusing more of my attention on what I want to see coming into fruition, rather than what this PR propaganda machine wants me to see to influence my intention. Does that make sense? Now, as more and more people come around to this idea and this concept that they create, they manifest, they intend things to happen, we can work collectively together to pull away from this Plato's cave wall that we've spoken about before. Yeah, the new Plato's cave wall that we're all staring at, the black mirror. And rather than taking our cues from the media, from the propaganda, from governments, from the people wearing white coats that tell us they're scientists and they've got an independent and, you know, consensus viewpoint. Yes, consensus says, you know, consensus in the medical profession had people disbarred, not disbarred from the medical profession, but it was taken their medical license away. Disbarred is a legal term, I'm sure, for taking lawyers out of their ability to practice. Just so if you wanted to correct me, I do know the difference. But the medical industry has taken away people's medical license. There was a Hungarian doctor about 80 years ago, I think, don't quote me on the time, who was finding that the medical students that were going and doing autopsies on the morgue, people in the morgue, dead bodies in the morgue, were bringing that bacteria up and helping women deliver babies, and they had a higher death rate amongst babies. He dared to suggest that these medical students should wash their hands or change their gloves before they came and helped with the pregnancy, helped with the deliver babies. They took away his medical license because he dared to challenge the status quo. How dare you tell us what's best for us, you know? And then obviously it was proven later that he was correct. But that's the whole point. Going along with the status quo doesn't make you smart, you know. And the only way that the world changes is when you have someone that stands outside the box. There is no box. There is no spoon. And says, just because that's the way we've always done it doesn't mean it's the only way to do it. Now, I'm putting this information out for you. Believe it, don't care, it doesn't bother me. It makes no impact on my life, only that knowing that I have put this out into the world, and I have done my bit to help things along in a direction that I think benefits humanity, not just me, but all those around me, to find a place where we can live in a world that doesn't work just for the people at the top of the tree. It doesn't just work for the people with all the money. It doesn't just work for the people who control the political and the social media and the media influence. No, it works for everybody, because it's democratized, it is decentralized, and the decentralization of information, which is, you know, decentralizing of information, which is people like me walking around and making their own media. Decentralization of money, because if you have if you give an organization, banks, the ability to make something up out of nothing and then call it legal tender, and you can't transact any other way, or if they don't like you, they can cut you out of the system. That's not democratization. That is centralization, and centralization only harms us all. Centralization of information, centralization of education, information, all of it is there to keep you stupid and to keep you believing you can't and you won't. Now, I'm not the only exemption to the rule. There's lots of people out there that are doing, bigger things than I am, who are influencing, broad swaths of people through their actions and through what they're saying and through what they're doing, and proving a point. Now, as I say, whilst I'm no one in the whole scheme of things. I am doing my thing to prove a point to other people within my circle of influence, that just because somebody else told you it's true doesn't make it true. And when I do things like influence the weather, or say X will happen, or when I talk about cryptos, but all these kind of things, and then it happens, people are like, oh, how could you know that? It's not that I knew it, it's that I'm taking part in the intending of the end result. Okay? Now, hopefully this is getting through to you. Hopefully this doesn't sound too woo-woo. So hopefully it's making you go, well, if that's true, maybe I can do something for me and my family, or maybe I can do something to help influence the reality in which I live. We pay it forward and we try and do things in a way that is going to benefit us and the people around us and society in general. So I'm doing my bit, small as it may be, and hopefully one day, if we get to meet, then you can see for yourself how and why I do things. And it sounds crazy, I know, but I give this to you to be your own crazy and do your own crazy and experiment with for yourself. Start out small, start out with a small intention of maybe somebody buys you a coffee today, or gives you a flower or a chocolate or whatever. Start out with a small intention and put your emotional side into it, put your heart into it, and feel the feeling of receiving that intention back. And then find ways that you can give other people that feeling by them going, wow, I've never seen anything like that before. Yeah? And then we keep that cycle going, we can change the world. So, all that said, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for taking a walk with me today. I hope you took something away from it. I finally got this off of my chest, and now I can sort of breathe again and go, now I can go back to my life and play some more golf and do all the things I need to do, go and harvest some vegetables, or water the plants, or whatever it is I need to do. And whatever you need to do, you need to stop watching this nonsense and go out and do something in your life that's going to bring you the happiness that you deserve through the actions that you take and the intention that you put out into the world to create something special. So go out into the world, do good, be good, and you can change the world with the way that you think, the way that you talk, the way that you act, with the way that you speak, and what you're sharing with people. So do that, and we can change the world together. But most important of all, look after yourself, look after each other, and I look forward to seeing you real soon. Ciao for now.